Okay, it's 11:12 a.m. This is 150 East Hope Boulevard. This is relevant positioning as they are lined up around the building. This is the Museum of History and Arts. When I say it's across the street, that's exactly what I mean. That's transit. That's Euclid Avenue. That's a group stalker. These are all group stalkers. They're monitoring what the state, and I just captured in video what the state is doing. Understand that plane that flew over in a commercial-sized plane, targeted conduct. The state flies directly over me everywhere that I'm at. Understand the state's fake sun. 11:12 a.m. Okay? I have captured in video the state's fake sun rising, and I put that in quotes, as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. This is how you know what group stalkers like this are doing. This is P.O.C. as they are remaining in my path. As I sleep under this shaded area at the museum, they're remaining in my path. They do the same thing across the parking lot at this closed down building, 214 South Euclid Avenue, where nothing is going on but federal group stalking and monitoring. They are doing the same thing as I captured Ontario police engaging in stalking at the back dead-end street in the night when I am coming back to where the state knows that I'm sleeping, remaining, because it's stalking, as I've already shown, as late as February, well, actually yesterday on my podcast, but also February 3rd, the state repeatedly flying over this building, flying all around me in helicopter, and Ontario police stalking. This is the vicarious actor, the people of the state of California, engaging and remaining present while these psychopaths and their sex offenders, understand, when you're engaged in monitoring with the government, while the state is molesting you with its light, you're engaged in that sexual violence. This is one aspect of that. 150 East Holt, fully engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. They are aligned around the perimeter of the building while the state is keeping its light source. Understand that's why it's here, okay? Because they're monitoring. And they are in what's called relevant position, acting in the same exact manner that OMNITRANS is, and every other third-party group stalker that is patrolling in traffic, maintaining group presence in relevant position under the state's light source, while, mind you, the state is stalking, flying directly over, as I showed in the video, but again, the state knows I'm capturing it on video. The state is flying at lower elevation. The state is engaging and flying directly over and around me in helicopter, while these group stalkers, these psychopaths, maintain presence all around. That's federal group stalking and monitoring. And as I stated, OMNITRANS is a sex offender. They're remaining in relevant position, and that psychopath operating that vehicle is listening to every word that I'm saying right now. And they're acting as one group. Understand that. Indistinguishable. They are one group. The last point I'm going to bring to your attention, as I have already stated that the state, and I have already established that the state is stalking with a light source. This is not the sun at 11:15 a.m. remaining over the Ontario Museum of History and Art. As I have captured, at this same time, the state's fake sun is directly over this building, 150 East Holt, both in the morning and also late in the afternoon. This is the state's light source remaining present for hours, and this is also that which you cannot reconcile with the state's light source being directly over me, like it is here, squarely above me, remaining where I remain, okay? Captured as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. Pay attention to my documentation. This is already established, in addition to every other location, every other address where it remains for hours. For example, as I sit on the side of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library in what is a shaded area, that's why it's constructed, that's why buildings are made like that, for shade, and the state keeps its light source, which it's supposed to be there right now. I documented it. It's supposed to be aiming light positioned directly between the senior center and 280 North Lemon Apartments. That's how you know what these psychopaths are doing, okay? This is not that. This is not the same position, and this is not visible in between the senior center and the 280 North Lemon Apartments. The state is monitoring here. The state is monitoring when I'm at the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, and they are all monitoring as well. That is just one example, which you cannot reconcile with the state's light activity. This is stalking with light. This is the psychopath, the public entity, the state of California, that's stalking with light, flying around. And by the way, last night, let me just give you more preference instead of putting it on my podcast. I'll do a new podcast for today, February 6, 2021. But what I want to state is all night, last night, this is also how you know what these psychopaths are doing, what 150, this is going under their playlist because they're monitoring and they're engaged in that sexual violence when I'm in the bathroom, okay? And the state's fake sun is over that building. By the way, the state's fake sun on the opposite side of this building when I'm over there in that parking lot. Okay, the state flying directly over this building in order to avoid my capturing it on video all night long in helicopter. I already captured this February 3rd. The state was engaged in the same. Did not want me to get another series of 8 or 9 videos of him doing the same, of the state doing the same thing, so flew directly over the building on top of me all night long. These are the images of group stalkers, the people of the state of California. Psychopaths. They don't have to address you. They don't have to talk to you. They don't have to act like they know it, but they're entirely focused on you. And how do you know? Because of everything in the environment that speaks to it. And that's how you're going to prosecute federal group stalking and monitoring, because the psychopaths that are engaged in that conduct with the government, vicariously acting on behalf of it, are psychopaths. And you will never get the truth out of a demon-possessed psychopath that is a sex offender and desperately engaged in and invested in seeking to conceal that which is in plain sight now. There is no form. This is P.O.C. and that is not the sun remaining at the museum, over the museum for hours, and then it's 11. The state's fake sun is going to remain over the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. It's going to move from here to being over B&G Plaza, which is going east, by the way, okay? And this is not the same as that. That's blatant stalking. Every third party that I've already documented engaged in this criminal system, engaged in that same sexual violence. All of them at 150 East Holt engaged in it right now. Those psychopaths are listening to me when I'm in the bathroom, genitalia exposed, using the toilet, making any subtle movement, and they engage in stalking with activity, and that's how they're able to do so. That includes OMNITRANS, that's in traffic in relevant position. All of them engaged in that same conduct together while the fake sun is over that venue. Okay, it's February 6, 2020. I just want to start off the day with that, and I will complete it with the pattern of conduct as it was completed last night. I uploaded my podcast for the 5th. I did not add any more documentation, but I want to go ahead and include the fact that the state continued stalking via helicopter, as I captured audibly as I was walking at Bonneview and Holt Boulevard. As I stated that the state engaged in via helicopter as I was walking north of Bonneview, flying over my head, flying what was east over Bonneview, like I stated. The state engaged in that ongoing stalking conduct as I returned to the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, as I was picked up by third-party group stalker, sex offender Tracy Banks, while she arrives to pick me up in her car, calling herself doing me a favor, engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, okay? Indistinguishable. That's a third party whose name I know. She has her hazard lights on. The state is engaged in flying in a circle over the field right in front of me at the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, all right? And engaged in driving me while the state is flying and following in helicopter. That's P.O.C. And this is P.O.C. that is continuous, and they are all engaged in monitoring. You're looking at it in traffic. You're looking at it while they're in the buildings. It's federal group stalking and monitoring. They're psychopaths, and it's a state system. And that's why I document every single last one of those license plates. They represent the people of the state of California. And guess what? They're sexual offenders. They're touching all over me right now while they're monitoring with the state that is molesting with a light source in the sky, stalking like the psychopaths that they are. As intentional as this light source is above me, that is as intentional as their presence is at this intersection at this time. It's P.O.C.